We're back after a long time.
So excited to be back.
Another video together. I'm Arynne.
I'm Kim.
And we are at the park, and we're gonna catch up on all of the projects we've been doing and talk about yarn a little. Probably a lot.
Probably a lot.
Kim probably has a lot more to update you on than I do because I just recently made a video and I haven't made that much progress since. Just a little bit, but.
And then I've been just obsessively knitting for months, as per usual. So I limited myself to I didn't bring everything that I've knitted since last time we talked today, but I brought the best ones.
Yes. Well, I'll do just my small update, and then Kim will take the floor, and I'll sit here knitting.
You've got to talk about this. I could talk about this for hours. It's so beautiful.
So I made a bit of progress on my Northern Augustins number 7.
Look, it looks so good.
I finished the body, which is so exciting. I tried it on the other day, and I feel like it even unblocked, it sits at a really nice spot on my waist. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how it kind of fits once it's blocked. And then I started on the sleeve, and I've done two chart sections worth, which is very exciting, and I feel like it goes really fast when you're just doing, especially a sleeve. But the chart is so quick, it's just I just couldn't stop.
After doing the whole body, it's wow, this goes so fast.
I think this is around 300 stitches, all the way around. Yeah, and this is 100, so I feel like it's going much faster, which is really nice. It's nice to feel like I'm making some progress because it's been sitting there for a long time, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it for real.
It's gonna go with your wardrobe so well, and just looking at it next to the cream linen that you have on, I'm it's such a vibe.
Yeah.
Actually, should I get mine out? Yeah, seeing as we're talking about that pattern.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. I don't think in the last one that we filmed, I don't think mine was done yet. I think I was just talking about it.
There was in the video that I posted about casting this project on. I did share a couple of clips of when Kim was blocking hers. So you saw this in that video if you watched it, but
it's a little wrinkly because it's been sitting in a pile since it's been 80 plus degrees out.
That's gorgeous.
But I love how it turned out. It's so good. And we both knitted them in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. Rest in peace. I probably was talking in the last video about how obsessed I got with color work for a little bit, and I think 3 of the 4 items that I brought to show, the 4 finished objects that I brought, are all Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, because I got really obsessed with color work, and then I got really obsessed with how Brooklyn Tweed Shelter looks in color work, and then Brooklyn Tweed Shelter stopped making yarn, and then I just bought so much of it, panic bought it.
Up.
I have so much now, and I'm just working my way through it.
You did make a few changes to yours, though, right?
Yes. So, I don't know. I feel like I changed the construction a ton of this. I used their, stitch counts and color work charts, but I didn't do almost anything else the same way that the pattern said to. One thing I probably mentioned before is that I hate doing any type of cast on except for the long tail cast on. So I just refuse to do the what type of cast on did it say?
Isn't it the tubular cast on, or I don't even remember now.
It was something that let you stitch the ends together,
where both edges are live stitches, and so that
Judy's Magic Cast On?
It might be Judy's.
It's awful. For mine, I just did a long tail cast on, and then later on I came back and picked up the stitches for the neck, and then I knitted it up and folded it over.
It's Judy's Magic Cast On.
Yeah. So I did that kind of classic, almost the way that Petite Knit always does it, because those are the patterns that I learned how to knit sweaters with. I did that. I also moved the beginning of round to the center middle of the back, because I wanted to add short rows. So I do have short rows in mine. The original pattern doesn't have short rows. You can see the back is deeper where the color work starts than the front is. By a little bit. It's not like super noticeable, but it's a big pet peeve for me when like sweaters pull back on the front of the neck. So I moved that, and then I'm trying to remember how I did it. I think when I divided for sleeves, I like cut my yarn, and then I just picked it up again underneath the arm so that I could move the beginning around there without having to change much about the pattern. I also fully forgot to do the decreases that you're supposed to do right before the end of the sleeves when you start the ribbing. So that was not intentional. I just can't remember to do things sometimes.
I like the way it looks though. It's really cute.
Yeah, I like it. I made it very oversized, and in everything I've posted on social media, people seem to love the oversized fit. I personally, I love an oversized fit, but if I was going to do it again, I would go back and make it like one size smaller. It's just a teensy bit too oversized for my preferences, but I still, like, I get wear out of it. I'll get a lot more wear out of it when it's not summer anymore. Yeah. And yeah,
I really like how, like, not that they're short and stubby, but they're like, because it's an oversized fit, they don't look like short and stubby when it's on. But they're just like a really cute small sleeve that, like, I think if I'm remembering correctly, like when you're wearing it, it's like a little higher up on your wrist, but it's really nice.
Yeah,
especially as a layering piece.
Definitely. I'll try to give you a little video of me wearing it so that way you can see how it looks on.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is my version, and hopefully at some point here I'll make another one, because this is maybe the most fun I've ever had knitting a sweater. I don't know what it is about this pattern, but it's
really nice.
It's just so fun.
Yeah. It feels like it goes really fast too, and it's not super complicated. Like the whole yoke being one chart, and then like once you finish the yoke, it's a different chart. But like just having each row be charted out as you're doing increases and stuff, like it feels like that just goes so quickly. Like it's like by the time you're done with that, you're like, oh, like I'm already pretty close to being like done with the body. Like it just feels like it goes quick.
And
but it's entertaining. I don't know.
There's nowhere in it where you really need to what's the word? Catch your floats, because it's very small bits of color work.
Yeah.
But it still feels really complex in a very satisfying way. Like if you're looking for like something that looks really fancy, but you don't have to catch your floats, this is the perfect pattern.
I was
for that.
talking to John about it because he was saying like it looks so complicated. Like it's like really pretty. It looks so complicated. And I'm like, yeah, but the thing is that it's like so easy, and I feel like that's what every like knitter says. Like it's so easy. You don't even get it. Like patterns are so easy to follow. It's just a simple chart. And if you know how to do like a knit stitch and a purl stitch, like, and you can watch a YouTube video on how to do other little like increases or whatever, like it's really just like doing a puzzle. You just follow the little directions.
Yeah, like I feel
it's not that hard, but it looks really like you put a lot of work into it.
And if you're someone who's like me, who I don't like starting with beginner projects. I think they're usually the most boring version of the project, so I start with something really hard, and it doesn't turn out great, but like by the end of it, I've had a good time, and I feel like ready to tackle anything.
Yeah.
If you are someone who likes to do that, I think this actually could be a fairly okay first color work project, maybe, even though it is all over color work, which is a lot.
It is a lot.
It's
but,
not too hard.
In the knitting club that I mentioned, there's a girl who said that was her first ever sweater.
Which that's incredible. Like,
yeah, shout out to her.
The ambition.
We were all very impressed, and she was doing a really great job. And so, like, if someone who's never made a sweater before can do it, so can you.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on the Augustine's number 7 sweater.
Yes. Hopefully, I was thinking that this might be my Rhinebeck sweater.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're getting close to that time of year where I can start putting together Rhinebeck outfits in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I feel like both sweaters that I'm making are Rhinebeck yarns that I acquired. Hopefully I'll have them done by the actual Rhinebeck Festival this year, which is like crazy that it's taken me a whole year to actually finish 2 projects, but we'll get there.
I've been kind of the same though. Like I've been so precious about my Rhinebeck yarns that I'm trying to think. I actually have one of the projects I made with one of the Rhinebeck yarns with me, but it's taken me a long time to dig into them.
Yeah.
But it's actually, okay, we have to think about last time we went to Rhinebeck, I think I had just knitted one of my first colorwork patterns, and I remember that I really, really wanted to wear a colorwork sweater to Rhinebeck, but I only had the one. So I wore that one day, and I wore just a solid sweater the next.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird to think about this time around. I have so
Like,
many
color
choices.
work. You did yeah. You've done a lot.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Well, should I grab
next?
another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a Kim show today. I'm just gonna hang out and knit and try to see how much more I can get done on my sleeve.
Sounds like a plan.
She's got a lot. She's got a lot of good stuff that I'm like excited to. Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk about. Thank you for giving me a space to talk about all my knitting projects.
This is all you.
If you remember this yarn that I talked about in the episode that we talked about Rhinebeck purchases, I can never remember what it's called, so this is the last skein I have left of it, and I brought it so that I didn't have to remember what it was called. But it's gorgeous. It's, I believe, merino? No. It says, spun from Polwarth, Romney, and Hebridean wool. And it's dyed with onion. And it kind of has like this marl. It's like a buttery yellow color with like a gray mixed in with it, which I think just adds a lot of depth to the color. Mm-hmm. And I used it to make a Maggie vest. Let me get it out. So this is my Maggie vest.
Oh, it looks so cute with that dress.
Right? Okay, this looks so good with everything in my wardrobe. And I finished it, like, I was able to wear it maybe twice before it got too warm out to wear it. In fact, when I was wearing it, it was definitely already too warm out. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to wear your new knits.
It's true.
But I made the exact same alterations to the pattern for this one that I did for the last one that I made. The main one being the button band. Rather than doing a ribbed button band, I did this little I-cord. It basically has an I-cord along the front, and I skipped 2 stitches. I skipped attaching the I-cord for 2 stitches to make a buttonhole. And I will unbutton it so I can show you what that looks like. I also think, I don't remember exactly how many I cast on, but I like did a little calculation to see how wide the ribbed button band was, and then I just cast it on about that width, like half of it on each side. I added that on so that way I didn't lose any coverage across the front. So
we talked about this together at least, because I was thinking of doing the same thing with my Maggie cardigan, the red one that I'm not sure if I have enough yarn to finish. But I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. We'll see how much I have left. But I do like this I-cord edge. I think it's really beautiful.
I just think it looks so like polished. Here's what it looks like on the inside. Like, there's the I-cord, and then you can see here, that's kind of what the buttonhole looks like. It's really tiny. I will say I didn't want to use these buttons for it because I think they blend in too much, but I sewed them on because I was desperate to wear this, and Joann Fabrics closed, so I figured it would be a while before I figured out where to get. I wanted little like pearlescent, like mother of pearl buttons, and then I actually did get some of those at Stitch Buffalo, but I haven't gotten around to taking these off and sewing those on. So this has a little bit of evolution to do before it's truly finished.
It's very cute.
But thank you.
I love that yarn.
Me too.
I'm glad you used it for that project too, because I feel like it just is it feels right.
Yeah, it turned out perfect. It's exactly what I was envisioning it to look like, and it's so satisfying when something ends up looking exactly how you envisioned it. And I'm planning to wear it over dresses, probably over a lot of dresses, but I've also worn it a lot over like long sleeve shirts, like form-fitting ones, just kind of as another layering piece, especially in the spring.
Yeah, I wear that a lot. Very cute.
So yeah.
And the butter yellow. We're on butter yellow kit.
I love it. I just
honestly
love it.
Like just to be that person. Do you remember in one of our first videos ever together, or if you do remember, Kim talked about butter yellow being like the best color in the whole world, and like we talked about it being a neutral, and
not not to say I did it before it was cool,
but then
like,
everyone was like, butter yellow. So, like, you heard it here first. Just
yeah,
saying.
just me starting the trend over here. I don't know. No, yellow in general, I didn't like for the longest period of time, and all of a sudden, I've just felt like yellow brings so much joy to an outfit. Yellow is just such a good color. I love it.
It's very good.
Those are my 2 yellow items. Should I just keep going? I want to give you room to talk to, but do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I have nothing. This is all I've got.
Okay.
I did just drop a stitch a while ago, which is why I was silent for a moment, because I was like very confused as to what was happening, and I realized I dropped a stitch. So we're all good now.
It's all fixed?
It's all fixed.
Okay, awesome.
We can move on.
Let me show you then my pride and joy. I literally just finished this, and I'm so proud of it. I've been working on it for longer than I think I've worked on pretty much any other knitted project, and that is my Dagmar zipper sweater. Which, okay, it's really bugging me that every time I try to take a picture of it, it really looks gray. And I need to show you up
I think
close.
like with this dress too, you get a little bit more of the purple vibe. Here's a good comparison too. This is gray. This is like purpley pink gray.
Yeah, I still don't know if it shows up on
I feel
camera.
like it's better than on its own, but still, it looks like a nice purpley gray.
This is also Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the color Postcard, and it really does read lavender in real life. But I do like
a little periwinkle, a little lavender, yeah.
And it has little red flecks in it. But I do think that it also reads neutral enough that it goes with a lot of things. Whenever I'm wearing it with yellow, I feel like you really get this like purple and yellow kind of pastel shades come out. But this is my first time ever sewing a zipper into something, and I finished knitting this, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago?
Oh, finished knitting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had to wait for a zipper to come in because I'll tell you, there aren't any zippers anywhere that are the right shade of pale purple gray.
Someone needs to come up with a zipper company that has like every single shade of...
Knitting for Olive should start selling zippers that match all of their colors.
Hey, Knitting for Olive.
That would be
incredible. Come up with a zipper line, a custom color match zipper line.
But I did end up getting the one from Petite Knit because it was the closest one I could find. I had purchased another one, and it was like a steel gray, and it really did, like, it didn't blend at all. This is kind of a purpley brown color, which isn't perfect either, but it still, like, when zipped closed, I felt like it didn't look as absurd as the steel gray had looked. So there's that. The instructions for this pattern, as many other people have noted online, it just says sew the zipper in. It's all she gives you. But it is a very, very similar setup to how you would sew in the regular Petite Knit zipper sweater, and that one has a video.
Like, there's a video for it?
Yes, yeah, there's a video. Well, it's not Petite Knit's video. You know how she has Kimmy Mulcomb? I hope that's how you say her name. She makes all of the videos for Petite Knit, so it's one of her videos. And it is like almost the same thing. I've never made the regular zipper sweater, so the one thing I noticed that was different was she talked about tucking the bottom of the zipper into like a little pocket on the inside of the front, and this sweater doesn't have a pocket like that, but the same exact process for, like, part of it has a facing.
You could easily make like a tiny little square swatch and sew that in.
Yeah, yeah.
That.
I'm also actually thinking about taking some bias tape and using that to cover this little bit that's open, because I mean it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't really feel perfectly finished to me. So I have some like Liberty Tanalon bias tape, like it's a really cute little pastel floral that I feel like could look really cute covering up the inside of this. So I might do that at some point. But yeah. I did knit mine longer than Petite Knit's version. I actually never measured the actual length, but I did an extra set of like the repeats, this diamond shape. I want to say I did one extra repeat of this. But that could also just be my row gauge.
Yeah.
Might have been off.
I think it's a great length too. Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's really beautiful.
It turned out exactly how I wanted it to, and I'm just picturing this as like a little sporty layer to go over all of my cottagecore pieces.
Little dresses and such.
Yeah, it just adds like there's something about it. It just like feels very toned down and chill. And I really wanted to wear it for Arynne's bachelorette party. We went on a trip to the Adirondacks, and I was like, this would be the perfect little Adirondacks layer to like throw over stuff while we're sitting by a fire. But I didn't have it finished in time. And also we didn't end up doing a fire because it was a little mosquito-y.
Yeah. We did a fire and we stood out there for maybe 6 minutes.
Yeah.
That was it.
We were like, cool. But we did have a great time on that trip.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. So yeah, I'm trying to think whether I have anything else to say about this besides the fact that I love it. It's beautiful. I'm going to wear it a lot in the fall. This might be one of my Rhinebeck pieces, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't usually knit textured pieces. I like stockinette. I knitted a couple of petite knits textured pieces, but I made the Moby sweater.
Yeah.
And
that was a while ago.
yeah, I've tried to knit it a second time, a couple of times, and I've ripped it out each time because that chart has twisted stitches in it, and they're just really annoying. Like already knitting anything besides stockinette is like a little annoying.
Yeah.
And having the twisted stitches in there too, it's just like, ugh. It's a beautiful pattern, but I just don't want to do it. This one has no twisted stitches, I am happy to say. So I like the Dagmar a lot more. Ooh, my foot just fell asleep.
I know, my legs, I had to stretch out.
This has no twisted stitches in it. Well, I just remembered one thing that I did change about the pattern, which is not intentional. I just messed it up right at the beginning, and I was like, it looks fine. I'm going to do this the whole time. The columns right here that go up and down next to the diamond sections, they are supposed to have like a cable every right side row. And I did them every other right side row so that they lined up with when I was doing the cables for the honeycomb. And that way I didn't have to remember to do them at different times. Like anytime that those had to be cabled, the honeycombs also had to be cabled. It lined up really well, and I think it looks nice. Like I don't think it looks much different than hers. I might even like it better, but also I'm a little biased. But I think that's the only alteration I made to the pattern, really.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Really sad about Brooklyn Tweed because they made some really good yarn. But also, like, we still have Harrisville designs.
That's true. I love Harrisville designs as well. I do feel like most of my
similar
sadness,
but different.
Yeah. Brooklyn Tweed yarn, the shelter yarn specifically, I haven't really found any place else that makes a yarn that has that exact same texture.
Yeah.
It's very spongy, which I feel like is not inherently a word with positive associations, but it's like, it's very dry and very squishy, and it just feels really nice and lightweight, whereas Harrisville designs,
it's like
I like
more
theirs
dense.
too, but it's a little denser.
So like when you knit with this, it feels like you're saying lightweight. Like you can make, this sweater looks like it would be bulky and heavy, but like it's really airy because of the woolen spunness of the yarn.
Yeah.
Like it's
Same thing with this one. Like if
just
this
so
was
nice.
if this was not a woolen spun, this would be
like
so
a
heavy.
weighted blanket.
Yeah, it's really like this is pretty lightweight for being like a chunky cabled sweater.
Yeah.
So that's project number 3 there. And I'm probably going to continue to talk about how sad I am about Brooklyn Tweed Shelter forever. But here is yet another ode to Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. This is the last.
This whole episode is just going to be titled "Ode to Brooklyn Tweed." We're literally surrounded by Brooklyn Tweed.
I brought like one.
Every single
example.
yarn except for the Maggie cardigan or the Maggie vest is going to be Brooklyn Tweed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and my works in progress. Those
Okay.
are not, because I did tell myself, I was like, we need to take a little break. We need to knit with something else just to shake things up a little bit. But this is the last one that I wanted to show.
We all know.
This is my King Salmon sweater
Oh.
by Boylan Knitworks.
This too with this dress is really cute.
Oh yeah, I actually did think about trying to wear it over this dress, and then I was like, it's so hot
It's
out.
really warm. It's very muggy today.
Yeah, it really needs to rain. Like, the water needs to come out of the air. You can feel it just kind of hanging.
But it's also been raining like every single day forever.
So,
Since probably, I always see these things where it's like Western New York area has had like 27 straight weeks of wet weekends. They haven't had a dry weekend since November or something,
yeah.
which I think is still true.
Maybe, I don't know, I think we might have had a week off, finally.
It feels not like that at all. It just has been rainy
Yeah.
and hot, and we're knitting heavy wool sweaters still. So,
Yeah. If I haven't said it on here before, I refuse to knit with plant fibers.
yeah.
I've done it, I didn't like it, and I'm just gonna be someone who knits with wool all year long.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at.
Which I'll have one thing to say. This is probably all I have. Kim just was recently clearing out her stash, and she had it was probably like 9 or 10 total skeins of 11. 10? There's a bunch of skeins of linen cotton blends. Is it knitting?
It's yours.
Yes, and there's
I
like
think it's Bomulin.
Gomolin, yeah. There are some like cream color, like 2 or 3 beige color, and then like a navy blue. And I'm thinking of doing like a striped summer knit. I don't know what yet. I was thinking of my favorite things knitwear camisole number 9,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
and just kind of figuring out how to do some stripes and maybe just like a color blocked like hem edge.
Yeah.
But I would really love to do like a summer tee, but I don't
That would be
know
nice.
what will fit that gauge. So I have to just do a little bit more looking. But I am really excited because I haven't made any summer knits at all.
Yeah.
The only like tank I ever made was the ripple bralette, but I think I used wool for that.
Yeah, I think you did.
So
It'll be a fun experiment, and
Yeah.
I want to see that yarn go to good use because it
Yeah.
is beautiful yarn. I wonder if I think it's called the Amaliti by Petite Knit. That one had like a stripe pattern, and I wonder what the gauge is on that. That
Yeah.
would be really cute.
I looked it up on Ravelry. I might do another search just for like a fingering, like light fingering weight, like summer garment. So
Also, if there's enough, which you'd have to like do some math, but you might be able to hold some of those strands double.
yeah.
Maybe if you want to bulk it up a little bit.
We'll see.
I can't wait to see
Yeah.
if you make a swatch.
Something will happen.
Yeah, pretty good. But yeah, so this is the last of my finished objects that I brought. This is actually the second time I knit this sweater. Funny story about this one. I started knitting this exact one, this colorway, knowing that I didn't have enough yarn for it. So then I inevitably ran out partway through the yoke, and I had to wait for more of it to come in. But I was so excited about it that I started knitting another version of this sweater, which is I knitted also in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. It's like the cast iron color for the background. It's like a dark charcoal gray, and then it's this same like butter yellow color that's in this one for the fish. I finished that one first, and then I got the rest of the yarn I needed, and I knitted this one.
That's a
But-
good one too. We'll put a picture of that in here.
Yeah. They're both great. The first one I knit exactly according to pattern, and I did like how that one turned out, but I'm really, like I already mentioned, I'm really nitpicky about how things fit in the neck. So I think it fits fine. Like, I don't think anyone would look at it and be like, wow, that doesn't look like it fits right. But you can see
like
if you look
the
at
feel.
Yeah, like if you look at the other pattern examples too, it's still, even though it does come with short rows built in, it still feels like it kind of like tugs back against your neck a little bit. It like wants to sit back farther in the back. And I'm not a pattern designer, but just looking at it, I think the reason why is because when you block this sweater out, you do have to block the shoulders to the side pretty aggressively. I really stretched this thing out to the sides to make the shoulders fit properly, and they do, but you've got to block it like with some pins. And when you do that, you're pulling this neckline from side to side. So it goes from being round to being like a slit, basically.
Kind of like a boat neck.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And when you do that, it pulls the front up, and all of the short rows are arranged like in the back of the neck. None of them come out to the sides. So I think that by adding, like, just moving the short rows to the side, you almost like make up for some of that space that you lose when you pull the sweater sideways. And that is what I did on the second version. I didn't even change the number of short rows. I just moved them out farther. So this one I do think fits better around the neck than my first version, but I think I needed to do two things. If I knit this one a third time, which you never know, I might, I probably will move them out to the sides like I did, and then maybe just add like one or two more sets of them, just to raise it a teensy bit further. You can see here's the front, and then here's the back. So it's not a huge difference. I think it could have used just a couple more. But
Gorgeous.
yeah. And this pattern was designed to use Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. So I'm using the intended yarn for it. And I just love the fish so much. They're so great. The yoke depth is really good on this size, at least. I can't speak to other sizes, but people always ask me about this, how it fits compared to the, what's her other fish sweater called? The
Halibut?
Yeah, the halibut sweater. That sweater is pretty notorious for having some fit issues. It sounds like as you go up in sizes, the yoke depth gets really, really deep, and the arms are too narrow, and so it just ends up really as like a swancho. Which, I don't hate a swancho, but this pattern, at least in the size that I knit, and just judging by the way others look online, it seems to not have that problem as much. It is a deeper yoke, and the pattern specifically said in it, like, don't knit this pattern, like, don't size down more than this. Like, you need to have at least this much positive ease. And if you don't like that much positive ease, maybe don't make this sweater pattern, because it will not fit right if you size down, because the yoke depth is a little bit deep. But I do think that this pattern, compared to the halibut, I've not knit the halibut, but the way it looks online, it seems like the proportions just work better. The sleeve width matches the body width in a really nice and currently trendy way. So if you're going to knit a fish sweater, I think the King Salmon sweater is the way to go.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I love it so much. So those are my finished objects.
Beautiful.
Many of them in Brooklyn Tweed Shelter yarn.
Our ode to Brooklyn.
I love them, and maybe someday, maybe they'll make yarn again. Probably not.
Get your hopes up.
Hey, if anybody has any recommendations for yarn that's similar to Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, please let me know, because I've never found anything that has the same texture to it, and I love it so much. And I just spend my days panicking that I'm never going to have a chance to knit with it again.
I did get, when they announced that they were not making yarn anymore, I was going to make a sweater. I think I was going to make a Dagmar sweater for John in like a charcoal gray. I think it was I don't remember the colorway
This
of that
one's
one.
wood smoke, right?
This one's wood smoke. It was darker. It was like
Yeah.
a dark gray. I have the truffle hunt still, which I got only a few skeins of, but I think I'm going to do like the Marseille sweater. But instead of doing stripes, I might do some color blocking with a white like tweed I have. But I have another sweater quantity of dark gray, because I was like, John, I'll make you a sweater. Oh darn, there's not enough yarn to make you a sweater. I guess I have to make one for myself.
Oh well.
Darn it. Oh no, because I couldn't find. I found like 9 skeins of it, and then I couldn't find anywhere else. That was all that. I think I got it from Rabbit Row, and I couldn't find any more anywhere else. So I was like, I'll make them something else.
Yeah.
But I did get a pattern from Brooklyn Tweed site for, it's like a men's sweater. He doesn't love like cable sweaters as much as he thought. Like he said he wanted,
seems like someone who would wear a cabled sweater.
Yeah. He said he wanted like a fisherman's sweater, and I'm like, that's a cable sweater. But he was like, No, I don't know if I like any of these, but he found one on their site, and it's kind of like, it almost kind of looks like pine trees.
Did I see this one?
I don't think I showed you. But I bought a pattern for it. I have to find a yarn that he likes, but it's really nice, and I don't remember if it's like more chevron actually, or if it looks kind of like branches or something. If I'm recalling correctly.
Is
but
it color work or texture?
It's texture.
Okay,
so,
cool.
He liked that one, so I'm gonna probably make that one. But I haven't used. I'm kind of like branching out, I think, on my pattern designers. I found this morning another designer that I just bought a few patterns from. I'm not going to remember the name. But I found them on my Instagram Discover page, and there's like this really beautiful, like sport weight color work, like all over color work sweater.
You gotta show me.
I'll show you.
I want to see. You're speaking my language with the color work stuff.
So maybe I'll talk about those in the next video if I find. I don't know. I was thinking about using that that replay sport to do this color work, but I don't know if I have enough of the pink. We'll talk about it. I'll have to show you
we'll have to do.
We can't talk about it without knowing.
We'll have to do like a knitting plans video at some point.
Yeah.
But, should I show my two works in progress? So my first one is the Esther sweater, which I feel like is at peak chaos moment. I have a lot of cables hanging off of it. I've finished the start of the back panel, and then I'm doing the two shoulder panels here, and I'm about to join them at the front of the neck. But that's why it's at the point where it has so much hanging off of it. Arynne convinced me to do this one because you are planning to make this one with your Harrisville Designs cone, right?
Yeah.
And then I started it without you, which is tragic.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I screwed this up again. Sorry.
No.
I can't chat and.
We're doing too complicated of projects while we're trying to talk at the same time.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, eventually,
carry on without me.
Eventually, you're planning to make this one too.
Yes.
After making the Dagmar sweater, I was like, maybe this is my time to do textured knits. So I'm trying this one, and I don't know why with this one I'm having a little bit of a tricky time keeping track of where I'm at in the pattern. I think I'm getting better as I go. So I think I'm just not a very experienced texture knitter. And so it's sometimes on the back side specifically, I kind of have to flip it back and forth a couple times to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. But
it's really nice. That's the first time I've seen it in person. She showed me
really?
a picture, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
This yarn looks beautiful, like with this texture. I think it's a really, really good choice.
Thank you. This is the Fiber Co. Lore yarn, which I bought in a yarn store while we were traveling again for the bachelorette party.
Yeah.
And
after we went to the yarn store, we were driving the rest of the way to the Adirondacks, and like both of us, Kim had like an emotional support skein of yarn on her lap, so like she was just like, I just needed it
to be like sitting with me while we were driving.
And I was like the cones were all in my lap. I'm like so much excitement.
You know, just yarn things. But it was funny picking this up. I was like, I really wanted the cream, and they didn't have enough of the cream, so I ended up getting this light gray, which will also be nice and neutral and will go with a lot in my wardrobe. But yeah, I was like, do you guys have any more cream of this yarn? And she was like, yeah, we don't really carry it this time of year. And I'm like, but why?
But what about all of us who knew
it? What about the summer wool knitters?
The wool in the summer.
But this is really great yarn. I like it a lot. It has a lot of texture to it. I want to say it's a 2-ply. Yeah, it's a 2-ply, and it has a lot of halo. I am not knitting this one with any mohair, but I don't know if you can see this at all. It has a lot of little fuzzies sticking out from it. I do find that this sheds a lot. When I'm wearing black and I'm knitting with this, I just find so many little light gray fuzzies on me, but I've never been someone who, like, I don't mind that much if yarn sheds a little bit. And I don't know if it will on once it's done.
Yeah.
It might just be while it's loose.
That's why I have a hard time knitting my Nike cardigan anywhere, because it's like that bright orange. There is some mohair in it, and it's just, there's so many little orange fibers. I think I brought it out when we went to get like coffee and breakfast and knit together a few weeks ago, and I brought it out, and there was literally just like little orange fibers like in our drinks and all over everything. It's just gets everywhere, and it's so challenging. So
it can be a struggle, definitely, but
I think like once you wash it and stuff too,
yeah,
it's gonna be so much better.
Yeah, I think so too. So this is the one I'm currently working on, because yet again, the other project I started it knowing I didn't have enough yarn to finish it, which is another Marseille sweater. Yeah,
problem.
It happens a lot. I'm making yet another Marseille sweater. I think this is my 6th one, but I made the stripes color work, and this colorwork design is kind of inspired by a little crocheted, it was like a filet crochet yoke that I found at an antique store. And I loved it so much that I was like, I wonder if I could recreate this with colorwork in knitting. I don't know that it was fully successful. Like, they're supposed to look like little flowers and leaves, and I think they look a little bit like hard candies. You know, the ones with the little twisty, like, wrappers.
I still think it's cute. Like, I know it doesn't necessarily read the same as the crochet flowers do, but I think it's just like, I don't know, I really like it. I think it's nice.
Thanks. I don't dislike how it looks. I just wish it looked more like the original, but I think it still looks cool. I did the nice chunky neck, which is one of my favorite details about the Marseille sweater. It's just it's got such a good heft to it.
Yeah. It's like sturdy. I don't know. Like I feel like things like this will last a lot longer when they feel like just
substantial.
Yeah, that's a good
one. The green color is Pure Gint, and the yellow is Double Sunday, which is definitely a finer gauge than the Pure Gint, but I think in this very limited, like, there's not a ton of it. I think it doesn't mess up the gauge of the sweater too much to be using them together. And I have started the ribbing. I have a couple things I wanted to do with this one. I wanted it to be knit very long, and then I wanted to have a really wide split hem at the bottom. And I don't think I knitted this long enough before I started the ribbing. I just wanted to start it before I ran out of yarn.
I think you'll be surprised when you put it. Did you put it on yet?
I didn't. But I do think I want it to be longer. So I think I'm gonna undo the ribbing, and then I'm gonna knit another, like, I don't know, like that far before I start the ribbing. But to do that, I have to get more of this olive green yarn, and that's going to be a little bit. So I've put this one to the side while I work on my Esther sweater. But I know I'm always shouting out the Marseille sweater pattern. I just think that sweater pattern, it's the best oversized basic crew neck sweater out there. It has short row shaping along the shoulders on the back. It also has it on the front, which I have run into the problem quite a bit, that when it only has it in the back and not in the front, and then you make something oversized, you can kind of have it hang with, like, it almost makes this little point at the front. And it doesn't bother me that much. But with this one, you don't get that. And it also has short row shaping at the top of the sleeves. So despite it being really, really oversized, it hangs really nicely without feeling like there's extra bulky fabric bunching up places. So that's why I've knit it such a crazy number of times.
The perfect sweater.
It's the perfect sweater, and I probably will continue to make it more times because they're always like my most worn sweaters.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the stuff I brought.
Nice. You did it.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you. I'm so happy with everything I've made recently.
Yeah.
Like, this was a season of successful knits, I think.
Yeah. And you've done a few sewing projects too. You're like, I feel like even just the past few months, you're really on like a creative, like, wardrobe making kick. But it's
been good.
They've all been like really successful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I took a couple years off of sewing. I almost said knitting. I took a couple years off of sewing for reasons that I've definitely discussed on this channel before, so I'm not going to bring it up again, my gripes about sewing. But I don't know, the last couple things I sewed turned out well, so like it kept me wanting to sew more. And in the summertime, when I'm not doing summer knits, I want to sew summer projects. And when they turn out well, I'm happy. It's only going to take one time of me making something I hate for me to put sewing away again for like another 2 years. But for the moment, I'm having a great time. And you've been doing a little bit of sewing too.
Yeah, not a ton.
You made a couple pairs of shorts, right?
I made one pair of shorts that they fit a little bit weird. I think I made the waist a little higher and the inseam a little longer because it's the matchy chore shorts, and I made them one other time. But I feel like I wanted a higher waist and a little bit longer inseam, but I think I almost went too far. So I might hem them a little bit shorter. I also made the Henrietta skirts by Spaghetti Western Sewing.
Yeah.
Did not love it. I just don't think I chose the right fabric. It was the brown linen that I got a long time ago, and it just don't love it. It's fine. I'm gonna use it for something else probably.
Yeah.
But I also, I have a few days off next week. I am thinking about maybe trying, like, I had a few plans. I was thinking of like going on a little like staycation trip, just like a few hours away, checking out some yarn stores and like doing a little knitting getaway. Not sure if I can find a place to stay because it's expensive and I don't know, it doesn't make sense in my financial state right now to do something like that. But I'm also thinking maybe if I don't end up going somewhere, I'll just try to do the Allen dress.
Yeah.
I have a ton of fabric. I got to do like some patchwork fabric.
That's cool.
And I think
Are they
it'll be-
stitch buffalo fabrics?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a ton of stuff. So maybe I'll try to do some sewing. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. That sounds good. I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
I've loved the versions I've made with it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
My sewing like office area isn't really conducive to laying any sort of fabric out. One, because I have a cat, and two, because it's just quite small, and my partner and I share an office space, so it's like there's not a lot of space to work, and it doesn't always feel the most inspiring. So
Compared to knitting, sewing
Yeah.
does take up so much space.
and time.
Yeah.
So it's my house is also really hot, so I'm like, do I want to spend all of that time inside, like sweating and sewing, or do I want to like go explore a new place and do some knitting and like sit outside and
It's much more portable. We can go sit outside where it's breezy and
Yeah.
have some coffee.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I'm sure whatever happens, there will be a video to follow.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for joining us
I'm
on
glad-
this little outdoor adventure. It didn't rain.
Yeah. I'm really
So-
glad we got to do another video together because it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been ages. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me here.
And we'll see you at the next one.
Bye.
Bye.